Gombe State Head of Service calls for discipline, digital reform. Gombe State Education Commissioner urges community ownership as Gombe flags off school improvement grants. Gombe State University commences 2026 first semester academic activities. A very good evening, viewers. Thank you for joining us. Newly appointed head of service in Gombe State, Professor Muazu Shehu, has embarked on a familiarization visit to key ministries, including the Ministry of Water Resources and Environment, as well as the Ministry of Information and Culture. Speaking during the visit, Professor Shehu called on civil servants to uphold punctuality, professionalism, and respect in the discharge of their duties. Urged workers to remain committed to efficient service delivery in line with the vision of Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya's administration. The head of service expressed appreciation to the state government for ongoing effort to reposition the civil service. Also pledged to drive the gradual transition to a fully digital system aimed at enhancing productivity and transparency. Professor Shehu commended citizen workers for their consistency and punctuality, urging them to sustain their contribution towards development. Media corporation.
Ya kokarin wajen sauke wannan amana. Ana ga abubuwa masu yawa, kayayyaki na zamani, kayayyakin sadarwa na zamani masu inganci da shi da girma gwamna ya samar. Kuma a gaskiya ya kamata al'umma su tunjina masa da irin wannan hoɓɓasa da aka yi na zamanantar da wannan kafa. Domin in ba wurin ya zama na zamani mai inganci ba, ya iya gasa ko iya wannan da sauran kafafen yaɗa labarai.
In a response, the Commissioner for Water Resources and Environment, Muhammad Saidu Fau, described the visit as a timely and significant. Also commended the state government for appointing
zai fito da abubuwa na zamani da yawa, kuma mu annan kwamishinoni za mu kwace 100% goyon baya. Duk wani abin da yake so ya yi da zai kawo aiki ya yi sauki kuma ya kawo abubuwa su ci gaba, dan ba shi 100% haɗin kai mukan namu. Don dama daga wajen da muka fito muka zo Gombe akwai abubuwa da yawa da muka so mu yi, amma ba mu samu haɗin kan yadda muke so ba. Amma yadda shi ya zo yanzu kuma na san zai kawo ci gaba daban-daban. Number one wanda nake expecting zai kawo shine amfani da kwamfuta wanda za a ringa yi, wanda zai kawo aikin ya sauki. Kaga kashe kuɗi da ake akan paper zai ragu sosai.
Commissioner further called on civil servants to support the new head of service through dedication, discipline, and cooperation. The Gombe State Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning and DD Webs Investment Limited, has organized a regional workshop on the use of the multidimensional poverty index for policy, planning, and budget action, with special focus on Northeast Nigeria. The workshop held in Gombe State brought together policy makers, senior government officials, planning and budget officers, development partners, and representatives of the sector ministries from across the regions. In his opening remarks, the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Alhaji Salisu Baba Ali, expressed optimism that the workshop will equip its stakeholders with the tools to address poverty in all its dimensions. He noted that the poverty goes beyond income levels and requires a deeper understanding of its underlying complexities. The Commissioner commended the organizers for choosing Gombe State as host, reaffirming the GET government committed to data-driven development. According to him, the state has prioritized evidence-based planning, transparent resource allocation, and citizen-centered programs to improve living conditions.
issue is about multidimensional poverty, in particular in the Northeast. And we are also in the Northeast, in fact, we are in the center of the Northeast. We are also dealing with poverty left, right, and center. That is the reason why it's called multidimensional.
The Chief of Party Bauchi Field Office of the UNICEF, Dr. Nuzahat Rafiq, stated that the UNICEF support initiative that promotes the welfare and protection of children. She explained that the multidimensional approach discussed at the workshop aligns with the UNICEF mission and praised Gombese for its strong partnership. Also speaking, a representative of the Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, Mr. Anthony Moe, said the federal government recognizes the poverty is not limited to lack of income. He highlighted focus such as limited access to education, poor health outcomes, adequate living standards, food insecurity, and vulnerability to conflict-related displacement as critical dimensions that the workshop seeks to address. One of the facilitators, Professor Peter Shigan, explained that the training is designed to move beyond dialogue to structured, evidence-based action. He said the multidimensional poverty index provides a comprehensive framework for policymakers to understand not just how many people are poor, but how and why they are poor.
We are using the Alka-Foster model that discusses these three-dimensional issues.
Earlier, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Ibrahim Jalu, described the workshop as a welcome development for both Gombe State and the Northeast region. He noted that the state 10th-year development plan has been instrumental in tackling poverty-related issues and expressed confidence that the training will further strengthen the capacity of participating officers. His Statistician General of Gombe State, Ibrahim Dule, also described the workshop as timely and relevant, adding that it will provide deeper insight into holistic poverty reduction strategies. The Gombe State Commissioner for Education, Aishatu Umar Megari, has called on communities across the state to take full ownership of public schools by safeguarding the facilities and supporting their maintenance for the benefit of their children. Professor Megari made the call during the official flag-off orientation meeting for the 2024 disbursement of schools improvement grant to school-based management committees in public, basic and junior secondary school in Gombe State, held at Government Science Secondary School, Gombe. Our correspondent, Shuaibu Umar, completed the report.
The grants, which will benefit 360 selected schools across the 11 local government areas of the state, are jointly funded by Gombe State Government and the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC. Addressing stakeholders at the event, the Commissioner expressed concern over what she described as indifferent attitude of some communities toward school facilities, noting that certain minor repairs are often neglected. She urged residents to regard government-owned schools as collective assets that must be protected and maintained.
So these are school improvement grants that will be given to these schools, but you cannot give them without telling them how they are going to utilize it and the practical aspect of the training they had undergone, and then the retirement processes. So this is exactly what we have done today.
In a remark, the executive chairman of Gombe State Universal Basic Education Board, Professor Esrom Joktantoro, who was represented by the permanent member 1 of the board, Dr. Gambo Adamu Aliu, said the 360 beneficiary schools should consider themselves fortunate as more than 2,000 schools fall within the same category and are eligible for the intervention. He commended Governor Muhammad Inwa Yahya for the prompt payment of the state's counterpart funding, noting that Gombe remains one of the few states currently accessing grants due to its proactive commitment.
So it's an opportunity for them to demonstrate the high level of responsibility, transparency and accountability in discharging their SBMC responsibilities in the area of school improvement plan.
Also speaking, The Director of Mobilization at SUBEB, Alhaji Mohammed Saji Daudu, said the meeting brought together key stakeholders involved in school implementation programs, including SBMC chairmen, local government education secretaries, head teachers, and SBMC treasurers. He explained that the orientation was designed to educate participants on the proper modalities for utilizing the funds and retiring financial records.
Once they get back to their respective communities, to their respective schools, it is expected that they should do the needful. Because here during the meeting, all that will be said has been said.
A representative of the Universal Basic Education Commission described Gombe as a dependable partner, citing its consistency in meeting counterpart funding obligations. An SBMC member from Biliru local government area, Mr. Leonard, promised to justify the trust government and their communities have in them by entrusting these funds in their hands.
About the ability to execute what has been bestowed to you with the transparency of whenever a monitoring comes, there will be a clear accountability.
With the continued implementation of such interventions, stakeholders express optimism that public schools across Gombe State will witness sustained improvement in infrastructure and service delivery. Shoaib Umar, GMC News.
The former Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Isa Ali Ibrahim Fantami, has distributed between 12,500 and 15,000 bags of food across the 11 local government areas and 114 wards of Gombe State as part of a large-scale Ramadan relief initiative targeting vulnerable residents. The humanitarian outreach, now in its third day, it's aimed at easing the burden on fasting families amid prevailing economic challenges and promoting compassion during the holy month of Ramadan. A coordinator supervising the exercise say the distributed items include rice, maize, millet, sugar, spaghetti, and macaroni. The intervention covers communities across the state, ensuring equitable access for beneficiaries in both urban and rural areas. Speaking to journalists in Gombe, two of the coordinators, Zubairu Abakar and Bashir Shuaibu Umar, confirmed that the distribution is ongoing and has already reached thousands of households. Beyond food supplies, Fantami has provided financial assistance to a total of 33,750,000 has been allocated to Islamic clerics across the state to support their welfare and religious activities during Ramadan. In addition, about 20 million naira was attributed directly, 20 million naira was distributed directly to members of the public as part of the broader humanitarian effort, bringing the total financial support so far approximately 55 million naira. Some beneficiaries who spoke to our correspondent expressed appreciation for the gesture. Faiza Yahaya from Abuja Local Quarters Gombe, Hawa Umar Yunusa from Jekadafari Quarters, and Bashir Abubakar from Fontami Quarters described the intervention as timely and impactful. They call on other well-to-do individuals to emulate the former minister's examples, especially during Ramadan, a period widely regarded for heightened acts of charity and spiritual reflection. The coordinator also addresses them to continue offering prayers for Fantami and the governor of Gombe State, Muhammadu Inu Yahaya, for sustained peace, unity and development in the state and Nigeria at large. Governor Muhammadu Inu Yahaya has commended for providing an enabling environment for Gombe State Local Government Service Commission to effectively carry out its responsibilities without interference. The state executive chairman of the commission, Haji Daudu Umar Abdusalam, gave the commendation at the opening of two-day training workshop for deputy secretaries and water, sanitation and hygiene wash coordinators drawn from the 11 local government area of the state. Haji Abdusalam described the working relationship between the government and the commission as cordial, noting that the continuous capacity building programs for local government staffs are essential for improved service delivery at the grassroots. He attributed the commission achievement to the sustained support of the government, of the governor, and urged that the collaboration be maintained. Also speaking, the Director of Administration and Finance of the Commission, Alhaji Hassan Hammo Bajoga, advised participants to make effective use of the knowledge gained and share it with colleagues who could not attend the training. The workshop featured 2 representatives each from the 11 local government areas across the state. Academic activities has officially begun for the first semester of the 2026 academic session at Gombe State University as both returning and newly admitted students resume on campus. The announcement was made by the university management through the Dean of the Student Affairs, Professor Rashid Abdul Ganiu. Professor Abdul Ganiu said comprehensive measures have been put in place to guarantee a smooth and hitch-free semester. He noted that the academic environment, hostel accommodation, and campus security architecture have all been upgraded under the leadership of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Amasani Yota. According to him, the improvement had designed to provide students with a safer and more conducive atmosphere for learning. He further explained that the information on online registration for fresh and returning students, verification of results, student discipline guidelines, and other arrangements to ensure a seamless takeoff of the semester will be made available in subsequent bulletins.
In fact, that's one good thing we did for online, so that even if students are having issues, that will not stop them from commencing their lectures. They can come and start taking their lectures, because if a student is in sociology, for example, in 100 level, the most important thing is to take the timetable for 100 level students and we start entering the class.
The Dean commended the university management for upholding standing in line with the institution's vision for excellence and urged staff members to remain committed to sustaining progress. Meanwhile, our correspondent Bakisu Bibi, who monitored the resumption, reports that students were seen across campus confirming their academic status and hostels allocations, while some departments have already commenced tutorials and lectures. The Vice Chancellor, Professor Amasani Yota, also conducted an inspection tour of facilities to assess preparedness and ensure compliance with the new semester arrangement. With this report, we come to the end of the news. But before I go, recap some of the major stories that make the headlines. We heard that the new appointed head of civil service in Gombe State, Muazu Shehu, has paid a familiarization visit to the Ministry of Water Resources and Environment and Information and Culture, urging civil servants to uphold punctuality, respect, and professionalism in the discharging of their duties. Professor Shehu encouraged workers to remain committed to efficient service delivery in line with the vision of Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya's administration. We also brought to you a news that the Gombe State Commission for Education, Aishatu Omar Megari, has called on communities to take full ownership of public schools by protecting facilities and supporting their maintenance for the benefit of their children. Professor Megari made the appeal at the official plaque-off of the 2024 school disbursement. And finally, academic activities have officially commenced for the first semester of the 2026 academic session at Gombe State University. And that has been the news. Thanks for watching and good night.